Welcome back to another episode with Bantering with ByrdAdatto. We've done almost a dozen videos and webinars in the last few months on safety needs to protect your business and practice from COVID in your facility. But what happens when COVID gets into your facility? To address these issues, we have a mini series we've put together for y'all, and we're calling it COVID Questions from Our Clients. So today's question is, Michael?
Today's question, Renee, is can I restrict my employees' travel or require them to quarantine upon return from travel?
This is a question I have been getting more and more frequently, probably because it's summer and everyone is dying to get out of their houses and want to go somewhere, right? What I would say is my number one piece of advice is whatever you do, be consistent. So if you are going to ask employees to notify you as the employer of their travel plans, which you can do, I would recommend that you do this consistently across the board. Don't single out just your older workers and require them to tell you where they're going on vacation. Make sure that you have every employee notify you of their travel plans so that you can consistently enforce and track this type of information. We don't recommend that you actually prohibit employees from traveling. And there are some states like California, New York, I think Colorado, where actually prohibiting what an employee does outside of their scope of employment, so long as it's lawful, is unlawful, right? You cannot prohibit employees from what they do outside of the office. So you want to be very careful not to put some type of, private travel ban on your employees, because it could also look discriminatory. If you have someone who's wanting to travel to a hotspot, but maybe they're doing that because they're caring for their elderly parents in Florida, you don't want to prohibit them from doing that because it could look like discrimination. The second question, which is also coming up in regard to the quarantine, can you require those employees to quarantine if they return from maybe a hotspot or somewhere that other employees are uncomfortable with that employee having traveled? Really, this is another tricky area. I would say rely on your state and local ordinances and orders because a lot of states right now are putting in place their own travel bans. I know where I am in Chicago or in the suburbs of Chicago, if we wanted to go to certain states, we have to self-quarantine for 14 days upon return from those states. So I would say rely on your local and state orders. And then when that employee returns, monitor them for any signs or symptoms, right? If that employee returns and you have a daily temperature check and they have a fever, then send them home immediately. Let the other employees know. But it's a country of free rights. We don't want to unnecessarily step on anyone's constitutional rights here. So I would say, piece of advice, be consistent and be flexible.
Thank you again for joining us in this episode. And as you can see, there's a lot that happens with COVID when it unfortunately might get into your office or to your medical practice. So hopefully this gives you some guidelines and guidance as to how to respond. And we look forward to hopefully seeing you at the next episode. So thanks again for joining us.